Welcome to season 2 of the Lone Wolves podcast. I am the Doc, D-O-C. Thank you for being part of the community. And today, we just have to set the record straight. I have to speak my piece. And for those of you that have been following along at Detroit Podcast, no, today is it. I am not going to start a pattern of criticizing journalists day after day after day. Today it stops because it can stop with the last post I made. Okay? I'm going to explain myself and we will keep it moving. We will become a football show. But if everybody knows, I was called unprofessional and my credential was not approved. Not a problem. I own behaviors that I did and said. I was true to myself in my behaviors. Now, is that applied equally across the board for those that are pro team? The answer now is no. And you recognize this is the way media is going, but I would humbly like the Lions to maybe give a nudge to this reporter and say, hey, maybe this behavior also is unprofessional on the other side. And here's what I'm talking about. Great outlet. I recommend you read it. I've always said read it, but judge it, and it's biased. Pride of Detroit is biased. And it's obvious. It's clear now. And a reporter got a weekly credential. I saw him last year. This was the reporter I joked last year wore Lions gear to the facility. He did it again today. Out in the open. Peter Millar. Good stuff, $165. But if that behavior is unprofessional on that side, why is the manner in which I spoke about my colleagues who act this way in the name of journalism or modeling behaviors for their colleagues, why is my behavior inappropriate with no warning? Okay, so there's something in regards to if I say I'm unprofessional and they're unprofessional, there is maybe a level of hypocrisy here that maybe I sensed. Maybe we're just going to take 5 minutes here to explain it. It makes common sense within my reporting. Then maybe I'll report everybody. Just can't do it. I would laugh at myself. Now, I respect them for doing it twice now. It gets you. The last time I do this, I'm not in the business of critique. Last post I make publicly, guys, don't worry. I'm not in the business of slamming and critiquing others. All I can do is this is the holy grail of what you're not supposed to do. This is the holy grail of no-no. Okay? And he's happy. I give him credit. He got in the room. But you are not supposed to wear, let me take that out here. You are not supposed to wear Lions gear to work. That's a no-no. At the Lions facility. That's a no-no. And so, like I said, just 2 minutes. You get my side of it. We keep it moving. Peter Millar. Good stuff. And the badge media to me meant something. It meant that you report, you give your opinion, you're allowed to speak on things, and if there's issues, they get resolved. But if the standard is who wears the biggest Lions outfit, who is the most positive, unfortunately, if you call me biased, then they're biased. I am not presenting myself in that manner. That's it. And I give him credit. Al Karsten does great work, but he's biased. You're wearing Lions gear to the facility. There's a bias here. This is unprofessional. If you call me unprofessional, this is also unprofessional. It's the same standard. Do you guys agree? Okay. And it's fair. Look, do your thing. If that's what media has become, be the biggest cheerleader, whoever's the biggest cheerleader gets all the access. If that's the way it goes, that's just not a game I could play. So if the door's shut for interviews, I humbly apologize, but that's why. I never presented myself like this. I never wore, I believe, a Lions hat. I never wore, I wore this cap to do training camp. But yes, you know, if you look at it and call me unprofessional, then that whole room is unprofessional. And let's call it that. I am not unprofessional. That's the thesis. I'm just playing in the kiddie pool of unprofessional behavior. So I spent 6 days after figuring out if I'm unprofessional, they're unprofessional. And to what degree? And it would indicate that there's a preference, obviously, to those with the biggest smile. Come on, Al, show your pearly whites. But I respect it. I'm unprofessional. They're unprofessional. It was an unprofessional room, but you chose to eliminate the loudest voice who would speak it publicly about the other people. The same gentleman did it last year. We joked about it. Maybe that opened the doc files. But listen, I end it with this. I respect Pride of Detroit. I just find some of their content to be biased. I respect the work that they do. They grind. They grind to force me to grind. Read their work, but you cannot categorize me as that because you also have this in the room. So I belong in that room just as equally as everybody else. But in the age of a little bit of hypocrisy, I don't want to go. I don't want to go anymore because you could smell it, you could feel it, you could handle it. And listen, I love their fans. It's fun to debate them. They have a rabid fan base. I love it. But they also piled on when Dan Campbell questioned me. Their writers piled on to me. So critiquing them was not just me being a hater. Their writers piled on me and said, he's a hater. He doesn't belong. They tried to poison the well just as much as I'm talking about them. It's equal. And I liked the banter. I liked the banter with these guys. It was simple. I critiqued their podcast. I asked them to, hey, maybe include me in their notes section. They didn't, but they thumbed their nose at me because I wasn't a journalist in my mind, or I wasn't their style of reporter. So I just want the record to reflect I was just as unprofessional as them. In the end, today was great. Today worked out great. I got up early, no 94, handled business, watched football, wrote about football, did films, did podcasts. Today was absolutely perfect. And again, if the one post from Superfan Hutch hurt me to the core, he's like, man, the reporters are not putting up videos the way Doc did. That hurt because I was doing things that you fans liked. And I put myself in the position because of a misinterpretation of I thought I was in an unprofessional cesspool and I offset that. So I miscalculated. I truly miscalculated the line. I crossed it. I was unprofessional. But the behavior was what I thought was part of the deal. Hey, there's guys here that are super fans. There's guys here that are doing some things. Maybe they're unprofessional too. I thought it would be kind of fair and balanced, but oh no, it wasn't. If it would appear, and it makes sense nowadays in the age of sports media, it would appear if you want to kiss ass, there's your badge. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to the degree that would sustain a 20-year run. But the run was good. And like I said, I'm just there to point out that that there's all kinds of levels of unprofessionalism. And bottom line, the Lions have the discretion of who they want in the room, and they want a guy that wears their logo over a guy that says, hey, I demand you get me good players. Why don't you have good players? Why don't you win every game? In a loud way. Why are the podcasts that are being aired that are being hosted by others so boring? Why aren't they saying anything? But would I do anything differently? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm sorry I took your first 10 minutes. That's a wrap. Support them, but they are biased and they are unprofessional too. Just as you see me and go, oh, he's dangerous. He's got the doc files. Look what they're doing. It's biased. And Al, my man, Al, stick to the numbers. Put the Lions shirt away. Expensive though, $165. My people say Peter Millar. My man Al, put the shirt away. It's twice now we've seen you with that in public. I joked about it last year. I didn't call you out by name, but I know it was you. 99.9% accurate. It was you. We all joked about it. My wife will come when I come home today. She'll be like, you know, you should have wore a Lions shirt. They would have given you Ben Johnson. I just couldn't do it. All I did was wear the training camp hat during training camp. And that was my little sneakage of, hey, I was a Lions fan. So there's all varying degrees of unprofessionalism. But don't be negative because you get thrown out without warning. They open files on you and they say goodbye. And they give more credentials to guys that wear shirts that have the Lions logo on it. So if you want to sit in that room, you know what you need to do. But that time has come and gone. You guys are not worthy of the doc anymore. I'm not driving down there. They're unprofessional. I'm unprofessional. We are all the same, baby. And that's how I want it. We are all in the same little cesspool of doing dirty little things as journalists, reporters, or whatever you want to call us. And to that, cheers, my colleagues. Hopefully you had a great training camp. Love you all. I'll be critiquing you, following you, watching you from afar. And I'll be reporting. Go check out Lions on SI. We had everything you would want. Videos, analysis, highlights, talking about the news of the day, talking about it accurately. But now, as we said, I took 12 minutes. Let's talk football, baby. The drama is over. My heart is pure. Forgive me, football fans. Forgive me, Lions, for I have cursed. Forgive me for my behaviors. Forgive me for not wearing a Lions logo to your facility, for I have been a bad boy. Forgive me. But I appreciated the time I had. Unprofessional is a word. So I'll actually, for those that are in the communication business that have a failure to communicate, I was not unprofessional. I was immature, but I had fun with it. I laughed my ass off. My wife told me, she's like, John, you have a lighthearted nature. You say things, you're bold, direct, but you're immature. And I said, you know what? That's accurate. I'm immature, but I'm a healthy, young, laughing 47-year-old. I take things lighthearted. It's sports. You know what I mean? I didn't take it as seriously as the credential maybe warranted. Maybe the proprietor of the credential was like, this is a serious matter. Only those that wear the nicest Peter Millar Lion shit get to be in here. Peter Millar? Hey, good for you, brother. Only the nicest. But yeah, I was immature. I had fun with it. I laughed my ass off for a good 8 years, and I'll continue to do that. Hopefully you support me. And I lied yesterday. I said it would be all football, but the drama ends now. Support all of them, but make sure you're aware they're biased. And I'm loud. Let's go. Training camp kicked off. I loved it. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys every day. We might do a podcast every single stinking day. Maybe twice a day. Because the doc, when he finds an enjoyable activity, morning, noon, or night, sometimes he might do it twice. maybe 3 times. 47, baby. I'm viral. If you find something you like, do it twice. That's what we'll do. I love doing this. Mr. Nuga, you should have asked Coach about Mike Cox when you had the chance. Listen, my immaturity only went so far. It was about the offense, about pre-snap motion. When you find something you like, maybe do it once or twice. So yeah, I might do the show 2, 3, 4 times a day. All natural, baby. Let's talk ball. And again, that's all I ever wanted my colleagues to know. You had my respect a little bit, but I just felt like your field in general did not suit my taste, did not suit my needs, did not suit my wants, did not suit my pleasure. So I veered off that path pretty fast. And here I am doing a podcast that I love independently. I make the rules. I do what I got to do. We edit, we write, we create, and we talk ball. Let's talk ball, baby. Let's talk ball. What happened at training camp today? You guys, hopefully, you guys got to come reading just as strong as I am, because I read everything, just like I always did. Let's do the roll call. This is season 2 of the Lone Wolves podcast. What do we do here? We talk a little drama, a little life, a little psychology, little jokes, but we like football. And we have a community of family here. The same 40, 45 people love it on YouTube. The same 200 people on X. We have a growing community. I crossed 12,000 subscribers. We have a handful of haters, a couple haters, but we try to defend ourselves in the biggest way possible to keep everybody informed. And again, bottom line, at the end of the day, it's all love. Super chats are open. You go right to the front of the line, any topic you want. But we're talking ball. Now, I had my rant, so let me get a couple banners cranked up here. But what do you guys want to talk about? Obviously, the first thing I did was the banner is, let's talk about some good news. And I think it's good. You obviously saw, and if the highlight comes, we already have a story written. If the highlight comes where JAMO makes the big catch today, let us know. Oh no, my guy Doughboy, I didn't know. Prayers up to Doughboy Steve. Let's do the roll call. You know, big time member supporter Doughboy Steve, sending out all the love and prayers to you, to Doughboy Steve, everybody. Silent service. Christopher P, member, shout out to you. K Will, he knows it. Let's talk ball. Here we go. Let's talk our schisms. Let's talk our shit. Let's go. Dennis V, Phil C, Edith Paul. Really, really appreciate you, Christopher Pirtle. Phil C, Mishanuga. Honestly, now what did you do? The Lions kept a file on me of my tweets and my podcasts. And the quick thesis is, they didn't like what I said, but tell me what I did, what was wrong. I just gave opinions on everything. Other media, journalism, the field, their behaviors, their antics. I just gave my opinions. I just, the same thesis I have, I'm going to keep having. If I think it, I tweet it. I'm a ask forgiveness kind of person. I think it, I tweet it, I keep it moving. And then I apologize if it was way out of line. And those that know me, and those that don't. And the Lions, when it was time to approve the credential, they just said no. Never a warning. We had 2 hiccups in 2019 and a record of nothing from them saying, we don't like your content, we don't like you, nothing. I showed up, smiled. We joked about things. We joked about the controversies. The question that I asked, I joked with the PR staff in Baltimore when Dan called me out. I thought that wiped the slate clean. But remember, my biggest violation, I did not fork over the $170 to wear a Lions shirt. I'm not bought and paid for. Never have been, never will be. I am not, I used to be credentialed with the Lions. Now I'm just a reporter for On Sports Illustrated. Nothing really changes much. Other than my driving time goes down, I get to type more, better content. Nothing really changes. Oh man, silent service. Let me tell you, Derek is whatever you may think. You just disagree. He is not that. You disagree with what he says. And so your opinion, it's fine. You don't like what he says, but I can unabashedly tell you he created his own competition. He created his own competition. He said to me, he's the one. If you want to know, honestly, Derek welcomed me into the space. He said, John, you do great videos, man. Why is it just showing up in one spot? Hop on YouTube. Won't hurt you. I said, Derek, man, I suck. That's what I told. Those are my words. For those of you that think I'm an egomaniac, nonsensical narcissist, I told Derek humbly, Derek, I suck. I do videos. Nobody's going to like them. I do quick hitters, 90 seconds. Here's the facts. Get in, get out. Look at this. I was 10 pounds heavier. I said to Derek, look at this. He's like, dog, come on in. The water's warm. And I did it. So, and he opened my eyes to what's available. He put money in my family's pocket. So you just don't like what he says. He's a good dude. Humbly, he's a good dude. But yeah, he has takes that, woo, light your hair on fire. Oh. Dr. Detroit, Austin L., Steve Wilds, Mishanuga. If I miss you, again, Ryan Anton, love seeing your profile. No, man, listen, that I have graduated to office guy. Me and Mike Valenti, too hot for the Lions. No, the field has been tainted. You know, you'd at least you don't just go, hey, welcome in, you're guilty. You know what I mean? They went, you know, you're guilty. There was never a, hey, you're guilty. Good. It's not a problem. Hell, you could at least suspend it for training camp. Or I think if you are a good communicator, you say, okay, he's got an outlet. Just say, hey, pick somebody else. You don't come. Send Emmett, send Vito, send somebody else. Your voice has gotten too loud. That's what they should have did. And said, hey, come back next year after you follow these policies. Stop critiquing. Say something. Stop critiquing the podcast. Stop breaking this. Listen, I don't care. But it clearly, Ryan, as you've seen from the beginning, was not an equal playing field. So everybody, shout out to you guys. Let's go through. Let's get some feedback. And so it is written. So it is done. Let's stop talking about the wild fun I've had. Thank you, though. Phil C. Training camp's not the same without the doc. Marcus Newsom, football guy. I don't think Mahogany and Izzy have serious injuries. None of them has a report that's serious. I think they'll be fine, and Gibbs is haggling a contract. Let's go. I love your guys' feedback. Super chats are open. First news that you guys were hearing, I think let's be positive. Captain Critic is going to put down the sword. JAMO, and again, if it comes across the Lions Twitter, let us know. JAMO had a bold catch. Goff let it go deep. 40-yard bomb. JAMO got it. JAMO had a nice cut to the sideline against DJ Reed. He's looking proficient. And obviously, when you're challenged publicly, I think Steve Smith maybe did the best job for him. He said, hey, be a complete receiver. Be a route runner. I'm not putting your trio in top 5, which is ludicrous. But hopefully JAMO has a little bit of that Doc grit where if someone says something, you want to prove them wrong. JAMO, star of the day. That's good for day one. Remember, this is not pads. We are not going to anoint him the offensive MVP, but today was a good day for JAMO. Tip of the cap. That's right. The Lions moved to WJR for a while because of Valenti. But like I said, it took me a week to put all my thoughts together of why I was acting this way. And it would have stood better if they would have been like, your immaturity brings down the whole room. I would have been like, you don't like laughing? You don't like quick-witted sarcasm? You don't like did you guys know I became a wrestler? Darren McCarty's going to put me as a manager. Did you guys hear? My name is Big Dick DeQuender. Sensational valet. The manager to the stars. I said, Darren, what kind of name is that? He's like, I'm just sizing you up, and you work in DeQuinder. If you know, you know. If you want to know where that came from, I'll tell you. And Doc, you and Lance think it makes you want to go back to school to learn a little bit more about radio. No, listen, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I only have, which is funny, I only have one recurring dream, and that's I'm back at college and I didn't study for a test. Serge, hi Doc. This is my first time in here. I heard what happened. You keep your head up, buddy, and don't let nobody get to you like that. No, I'm a human. You know what I mean? It was just like I said, what stung was no warning. And so what stung was, like I said, I'll get over it quickly. What stung was, I thought the line was way out there further than what I was crossing. You know what I mean? The Free Press wrote John Morton was Timu Ben Johnson. I thought that was an ultimate personal attack. I never did that. I just rated people's work. I like your work. I don't like your work. I think that you excluding me is weird. But now I know the secret. I should have wore Peter Millar, big fat Lions jersey. Put macaroon on it. They would have accepted me into their journalism club. Doc's new is John Wick. Make sure you follow the syndicate all over. He has told me he's opening up 19 new channels. He has 48 football channels and 2 hosts. So he's going to figure out he's got some first-class problems. But by the end of the year, he's going to have 186 YouTube channels. I said, Derek, what are you going to talk about? He's going to talk about water, movies, food, Best Buy. I said, you're going to have a channel about everything. He's like, what do? I have channels. I said, okay. He's got to have a comedy channel. He's going to have a Netflix and chill channel. He's going to have a how to find your next wife channel, how to avoid Brittany Renner channel. I said, I want to go on that one because I'm falling into her trap. I'm like, man, she's kind of badass crazy. Falling into her trap, Derek. Allegedly, supposedly. And you know, when you see the crazy ones, you're like, man, the freak stuff would be crazy. You know, she'll tuck my head up, probably sue me and take half of me and get, you know, but those 48 seconds will be freaking amazing. Derek, I'm falling in. Derek has 284 YouTube channels. Derek, much respect to you, bro. You know who is real that just messages you. Hey, you all right out there? That you know who you are. If you don't see a podcast at 7, Brittany Renner probably answered one of my DMs. No, I don't think I DM'd her. I thought about it. If you know, you know. I'm sorry. There you go, Coach Walk. Austin LeBeau. Who signs first, Robinson or Gibbs? That's such a good question. I feel like I'm biased because I think Gibbs should be the highest paid, but I think Gibbs is more of a team guy, and Gibbs is, you know, more of a hit my number kind of guy. So I feel like Gibbs will sign first because, you know, again, I'm revealing my bias. I do have trust that Adam Schefter's people tell him the truth, or maybe it's Gibbs' representative trying to put that out there so they hurry it up to get the money signed. But I think Gibbs signs the day before pads, so Saturday. I think he signs Saturday. And then Bijan will maybe get like $100,000 more, or $200,000 more, or right around the same contract. So JAMO had a good day. That's good news. Oh, look at that. I'm so excited. I didn't even plug in the mothership. Let me plug this in, guys. Sorry. The light shall return. The light was about to fall off. Didn't even plug in the podcast. Boom. Oh, the light has returned. Oh. I know. Did he mention me at all today? And that was like cool and fun, but He's only telling half the story. We write good about Kirby. We've interviewed Kirby. But there are some things, and that's also too the sensitivity of athletes. My gosh. Now we can just be open and honest, and my gosh, all we said was I just wasn't a fan of the social media this week. That's it. That turns, like I said, if you juxtapose it with, maybe I don't know, maybe because I wear glasses, I wasn't paying attention. Maybe all the media is wearing Lions jerseys and hats, and doing the glazing. I just never did the glazing. I just did the, hey, let's talk ball. Let me tell you what I like about your game. Let me tell you what I don't like about your game. Let me tell you what I like about your behavior. Let me tell you what I don't like about your behavior. I kept it professional on the field. I kept it real and fun and wild on social media. But social media is the wild, wild west. Surge. I did a little bit of radio behind the scenes for Henry Ford Community College. But like I said, Doc, keep your head up and keep those questions going because you're saying it from the fans' heart. Yep. Thumbs down, Lions, for that decision. You cut out a voice. Like today, you made your fans unhappy. I would have had JAMO highlights. I would have had Derek Moore video. I would have had the video. Nobody, all the video was just of the players. Did anybody post a video? And did anybody post just an action shot stretching? No. And here's what's crazy. They probably don't even know how much you fans love it. Superfan Hutch was like, man, I could count on the doc giving us the videos like on the nose. So for that is the true regret I have for when keeping it real goes wrong. But I don't apologize. That's what the Twitter is about. It's just basically, guys, it's kind of funny. Kirby, if you want to call me a hypocrite, you probably could. You could say, how are you going to critique me tweeting all day when you made a career out of tweeting all day? I'm not a professional athlete. I'm just trying to get my opinion across. I'm not, somebody that a whole group of people is invested in playing a football game. So, and I like your Twitter. I like it. I just didn't like the one tweet series about the pup list. That's all. Go do your thing. I think for the most part, your social media is entertaining. But it should be done as a professional NFL athlete, not about your health, your music, your fun, whatever. Do your thing. But about the pup list, I disagreed. That's awesome. No, don't say we riot. You just say, restore the doc. He's a voice of the fan. That's all you need to say. He's a voice of the fan. Oh, yeah, we got a lot more. First of all, JAMO, what's your confidence level? So much to talk about camp. We got some time. We got another 40, 45 minutes. There is a real cornerback competition. I think it's going to be something you guys are going to be happy with, I think. There is a real cornerback competition. Let me just give you the gist of some news here. Let me give you a gist of my notes. All right. So much good stuff going on. Obviously, those that weren't there, Kirby Joseph, clearly, here's the quick and fast training camp report. Started up. Training camp report. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Tyler Conklin. Those on the physically unable to perform list. Isian, Mahogany. And Jahmyr Gibbs, not there. We'll get, if you want to give your opinion on Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe we'll take a timeout and you can give me that as well. He was not there, not spotted by the other reporters. So, who do you think replaced Kirby Joseph? And Christian Isian. It was entertaining YouTube golfer Avonte Maddox, who you can go find on YouTube golfing with, I believe, Tesla and Aiden. Good video, it would appear. You saw Avonte Maddox get some work. Ennis Rakestraw and Rocky Sin played opposite of DJ Reed. There's no Mahogany because he's on a list. So who replaced? What was the rotation? The rotation, please. Ben Bartch, Juice Scruggs, which I think is good. There was a Ben Bartch sighting. Good. Juice Scruggs, I think, is good. I do think that in the end, Juice Scruggs, knowing that the team traded for him, will have an opportunity to play as the top interior reserve. Right guard, left guard, center. Something happens, Juice is your man. They traded for him. He's the guy. When you trade for someone, you want to see their skill set. Now, of course, he has different skill sets at different spots, but I think that at least getting a good opportunity to see Juice Scruggs and Ben Bartch over the course of the next month, we'll start to evaluate and learn together what is about. Now, you're hearing that Goff took a few shots. He was willing to try to be more explosive. And you know that if you followed Lions on SI, that with Jamison Williams, and that's the benefit of having a running game, you can open up the play action, and Goff's got to do it. He's got to take some shots. And from reports, they were down the middle of the field. According to Justin Rogers, Luke Altmaier was a tick slow with his processing. Those are my notes from today. Luke Altmaier, maybe not the best debut today. We'll have a Luke Altmaier story, I think, tomorrow morning. Our Emmett Metisovsky caught up with his coach, Bielma, and there's a good story there. But the star of the day, according to many, Nick Whiteside. Nick Whiteside, sticky, icky, doing his thing. Good. I like to hear that. It's a training camp hat, year 2 tradition. This is good. You're hearing that Nick Whiteside's putting his step forward. Obviously, DJ Reed's going to win the job. The competition ahead is going to feature Nick Whiteside, Ennis Rakestraw, Rock Ya-Sin. And in my humble opinion, our first bold take needs to be, you're going to need Ennis Rakestraw to win the job. He's physical. He can play. He can do things. As K. Will humbly points out, pads are not on. It's the acclimation period. Practice today was 90 minutes. Mishanuga, there's one super chat. Seems like an odd number. Broski Bear, what's the deal with Frazier? I thought he'd battle for the starting left guard spot. Well, here's the thing. You look at Miles Frazier and you realize, obviously, we're still learning and all that good stuff. But he's got a ways to go. And I think, if it's my understanding from my notes, he was more of a right guard. So I do think that more and more you'll start to see. Now, let me go through my notes here from what I read. This player is going to get a lot of experience. And obviously, we talked about first team action. Second team action, Miles Frazier got a lot of reps with the second and third unit today. So I think year 2, remember that there was a little bit of the development last year because of the injury. So he's starting off with the second and third teamers. Blake Miller, heavy dose of work today with the first team. I do think that they'll flip and flop, obviously, but it would appear to me. Listen, in football, it's not exactly a fair fight. I do think Frazier, you'll start to see some days where he gets in the mix, but I think you obviously, guys, it's a world when you got to win. It's the age-old adage. You don't got to know ball to know this. Coaches love vets. Why? And it's a simple thing. No insider analysis. No, do I know who's got a leg up? It's simple. Dan Campbell is prototypical coach. I need guys I can trust. Who can I trust? We don't need guys that maybe flinch at the wrong time, make a little bit of an adjustment here. You need guys that, like a Juice Scruggs or a Ben Barch, they've seen it, done it. Hey, I need you to do this. They do it. There's no extra movements, no extra coaching other than the technique work and the fundamentals. There's not a lot of extra wasted time because they know what's going on. So vets just move a little faster, a little crisper, just a couple minor adjustments. Rookies, second-year guys, takes a little time because they have to also see the rest of the field. They have to see the development of the defense and how things go. Vets, you just get it and they know it. So coaches will love. Right now, Barch, Scruggs, a little bit higher up in terms of the interior depth in terms of camp. And that's how it should be. Miles Frazier, second, third team. What's up with them? One word. YOUTH. Youth. He'll catch up. Mishanuga, ice cold Modelo, and vacation with the doc. Hell yeah, 2. I've been doing the 2 Modelo, 2 limes. I will say I do have a preference. I do like Pellegrino, but I'm a Perrier guy. I have a favorite. I took it because that was in my crib. I'm a sparkling water snob, but Perrier just hits the soul, like the sparkle. Just Pellegrino's good, but it has the feel of Coke and Pepsi. I'm a Coke guy, Diet Coke, and I'm a Perrier guy. Pellegrino's like Pepsi. Cake Man, thanks for all you do, Doc. Hashtag free the doc. What is it that I do, Cake Man? Tell me what it is, and we'll keep doing more of it. Thank you humbly. Smash the like button. Tell 1 or 2 other people. We want to be at 75 likes. That's the goal. Correct. Brewski Bear is that most people believe that his backup position will be center. I still think Cade Mays is the best center on the roster. He's going to start to show it. Looks like the Bears, Caleb Williams, dropped some weight. No, Dennis V. Share your opinions here, but that's not happening. You don't pay a guy 3 years and move him to left guard. Now, if you do, you'll get the Prognosticator of the Year award for putting it out there, but we respect it. Listen, here we just say, we're going to shoot you down with that, but share it. I keep getting blown out of the water for suggesting, but I see a possibility of Seth McLaughlin becoming the center and Cade Mays going to left guard. I think if there's a big injury to Mahogany, do they position themselves to move Mays? I don't know. I doubt it. Is Kirby dropping bombs like right now? Oh. He was dropping bombs. Let me have a look. Yeah, you're going to do it. Oh, God. I don't want to know. What are people saying? Please don't let it be about me. What's going on? Kirby is still doing it? I thought Dan would talk to him by now. Now he retweeted Mike Payton's story. No, he was. Okay, good. Woo! Let's see replies. 3 hours. Yep, retweeted Mike Payton. God is good. Okay, good. Yeah, he was dropping bombs last night. Woo! Austin L., you got to be a little specific. I was like, does he keep doing it? Listen, Kirby, and this is the dilemma that a guy like me is going to face. He's going to retweet everything positive and comment on things that he perceives as negative. I'm just going to leave that there. I love how in touch you are with the people. Doc is the people's champ. Free the doc. Thank you, man. I think if only a handful of people grow and learn to come along to know that, that's what I wanted. That's what I said when I said back in September. What do you want people to know you for? Not for the drama, the immaturity, the hilarity. That was fun. That was just entertaining to get the day by. I want them to know that I would do anything for the real fans of Detroit, the ones that followed Detroit Sports Podcast and supported a former Lions season ticket holder. So yeah, that's what it was. So you see, I reply to all the comments. I reply to DMs. You fans said, hey, put up videos. I put up videos. I found a way to put up videos when the Lions made the macaroon rule and said no more cell phones. I found a way. I did everything for the fan. And for the Lions to cut me out because of their perceived rules, you took a voice out that the fans liked. And thank you. Obviously, I'm now watching on YouTube as well. And my nephew sent me a screenshot this morning. They said, hey, the one thing that, he's mature for his age. He said, the one thing that you're going to see, Unc, is more and more people still type every day, ask the tough questions. Every day I see it. You're like, media, ask, be tougher, ask. And I love you guys for it. That's what you should type. You don't have to put free Doc. Doc's going to be all right. Keep typing, ask the tough questions, hold the people accountable, because more and more there are going to be independent media. But unfortunately, I didn't think that the independent media would be the kind that would wear the jersey to work. If that's the case, then you got to solely look at independent voices. I thought the independent voices would understand that fans want accountability. Why did this happen? Because we can all cheer together. You know what I mean? I looked at it from the media world. If the fans cheer together, you want the media to cheer too? That's a lot of cheering. I ain't say that. What are the slappers saying today? What are the slappies saying today? Here's my list of 40 players who shined today at training camp. JAMO, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Mahogany, Frazier, Goff, Kennedy. Here are the 40 players that made my list. No, I'm kidding. He did a list of 14. I laughed a little bit. Like, dog, your boss doesn't need 14. Do I do it? God, I'm such a bad boy. I'm such a bad boy. I hate airing dirty laundry. But this is a capitalistic society. If someone drops a $25 super chat, I'll air some dirty laundry. But that's it. That's my number. And that'll be the last time I talk about the media. It'd be like, this would be the height of immaturity. Okay? $25 super chat, I'll air some dirty laundry. and it's personal because it was perceived by me as a little annoying, but I came to like it. $25 super chat, I'll air some dirty laundry. What are the slappies saying today? Everybody that played today was a highlight. Listen, today was early. It's early training camp, acclimation, running around, 7-on-7 rotations. A lot of the things that you saw that was written was good. Talking about Sam Laporta, Ahmed Hassani reiterated why the big end position suits him. He told the Pride of Detroit the same thing he told me in the offseason, that he played in college. He feels like he has a true competition now. He just revealed, that's what stinks too, is the early part is just a bunch of rehash of the same shit that they talked about in the spring. Talk about some new stuff. Sam Laporta's injury was interesting. Sam Laporta. Now, in regards to him coming back and the things he said, I will say this. A real cornerback competition to veer back is imperative to me that Ennis Rakestraw wins. For you guys, how important is it for Ennis Rakestraw to win? And the offer still stands because it's chambered in my memory forever. $25 to $50 super chat, I'll air some dirty laundry. And it's semi-dirty. When I say it, it's going to be dirty, but it's hilarious. And then they'll never let me back in. Maybe they'll respect me for saying it. Laundry don't cost $25, Doc, be real. No, laundry don't cost $25. What is the fundraising for? The fundraising efforts are to keep the lights on And to keep the flow going of advertising with YouTube, Facebook, what else am I wasting the money on? Coffees. No, all the money that is made. If you guys notice, are you guys seeing the ads? Like I promoted this wave. I promoted, I think, the Brad Holmes video. I am just growing the YouTube and kicking it in the coffers to keep the ship afloat, well and good for the 3 journalists on staff. So I do not take a single penny from YouTube to my pocket. Not a single penny. I just do it for fun. I do this kind of as my joy, but I want to make some money at it too. I'm capitalistic. I do want to make as much money as possible. And this information is troublesome when I say it. So you got to have some value. Maybe I'll make it $50. Yeah, I need to raise. Oh, sorry. My fundraising goal is $165 because you know what? I might just start wearing the Peter Millar Lions jersey. So the Lions will give me some access. I'm only bought and paid for by you fine folks. Biggins! My man Biggins has been messaging me for almost a decade. I don't care if Rakestraw loses the competition if Rock Ya-Sin makes the Pro Bowl. As long as someone steps up and does a good job, it's a win in the end. Yeah, but I think the high-end ceiling is a second-round draft pick. Rock Ya-Sin's good, and he's a good vet, but game in, game out, game in, game out. Can you trust? Now, he obviously put up the numbers last year. He obviously put up good numbers in terms of when quarterbacks were throwing at him, he was on point. Maybe now he's been given the opportunity, some experience. I just have to see it consistently now as him being a starter. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, do you put him in that role when you got a young cat in Ennis Rakestraw, second-round pick, you got potential, you invested a second-round pick, you need to see it. Yeah, for sure. But not a draft pick of the Lions. Easy question. Hands down, unless something shocking happens. DJ won him, but you'll mix in some Derek Moore, mix in some Peyton Turner. Hopefully Ahmed Hassani makes a team. Right now, a lot of the early reports have Ahmed out on the 53-man projection, so we'll see. Doc is the truth. It feels like my lifeline to the Lions was cut off. Fans need accountability. Doc was the truth. Woo, what can we get for 50? Oh, did someone do it? Oh boy. Oh, $1.99, but I'm not going to discount it. Thank you so much. Pride Time B. You're really taking losing your credentials to heart. Nah, I mean, here's how I look at it. Okay. And Pride, thank you. Thank you humbly for the $1.99. I hope to see you more. Hopefully you respect what I do. Accountability, man to man. I'm a Pisces. I don't apologize for my behavior. I started the Twitter page with the idea of just being wild. And it provided food on the table for my kids. It provided me to work with 3 amazing journalists. Amazing, that we laughed, had fun with, collaborated with in our bubble. Outside of independent forces, it was me, Christian, Emmett, Vito. And it's still that. But now there's a little bit more voices, obviously, you know, when things change and management changes and there's more input. But it was us 4 having fun, collaborating, and it was the wild, wild west. Now, I took it to heart because I thought it was the wild, wild west with all the media together. Like the Free Press wrote, I never wrote, I think, a headline. Now I started to write, you know, this decision is incompetent, but I never felt like I took a personal attack. The Free Press, the newspaper, wrote a headline, John Morton is the Temu Ben Johnson. I thought that was worse than anything I ever did, ever. So I thought, oh, the line is, we can talk. So I critique the media, I critique journalism, I critique the other writers. But listen, you got to play nice in the sandbox. I didn't have to. But all that stings is I just would have liked to, hey, the respect you would like from the people you've talked to for 7 years. Hey, we're like, we see you in the car with your foot on the gas going 60. Slow down. what they did was they said, "Oh, that fool texts and drives. That fool listens to the music. That dude's calling. That dude's doing some freaky stuff in the car with the girl. He might get in an accident." They never said, "Hey, man, you're going to get into an accident." They just looked and said, "Crash, mofo. Good." And go on to the next day. So that was eye-opening. I was like, oh, I would have at least one message would have warned somebody and said, "Hey, if you're going to rank podcasts, be careful. They're going to hate you. They're going to not want to be in a room with you." So listen, it stings. It's eye-opening, but in the end, you make your bed, you lie in it, you go forward. But I cannot just sit here and then say, I'm the only one doing it. They're just doing it from the other side. They're just wearing the Lions gear, being slappies, being bought and paid for. And it's the same things, but it's not equal. But it's not. It's not supposed to be equal. If you want to be in the room, you got to kiss ass. I just am not. I'm a 47-year-old grown man. I don't kiss ass. I can't do it. I keep it real. When keep it real goes wrong, pride. And it's my accountability, but I wasn't the only one acting a fool. They just do it in a different way. They wear a Lions. Like, imagine me wearing this to the facility. You can't. Yeah, pretty much. But I'm good though. I'm good. Thank you, Pride. Hopefully you come in here, you say, okay, that's a real one. He's keeping it real. He's honest. He was loud. But again, and when I explained it, I can't not do it. It puts food on the table. It brings, like I said, I thought this YouTube channel would grow to 100 people. Tops. 12,000. It's because I'm white. They hate white people. I'm kidding. I appreciate you, Pride. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Go Lions. And now that I'm not actually credentialed, all right, Pride, I was a fan of the team. I want them to win a Super Bowl. Actually, now I can say it. Pride, I'll show you. I'm a fan of the team. That's the sick part of it all, is I've had to put that aside. I'm a fan of the team. That's the sick part. I had to put that aside to do the job, to feed the family, and to speak my mind. Like I said, I had fun doing it. I had fun, and that's who I am. I'm a loud sports fan that throws the remote at the TV and goes, "Why the hell are you taking so many threes? Isaiah Stewart, give the rock to Malik Beasley." So let me show you now. Okay, so I had to put this aside. Hopefully, this is not just to brag, but this is who the real Doc is. This is the Doc. Who you saw was the professional version. This is the Doc. All right, so this is the Doc. I'll show you right here. This is the real Doc outside of work. I kept it hidden. I was the first person to own this. Humble brag. I was the first. I was the first person to own this. You know how I know? When they started putting out the super hats, I said, "Hey, I want a Lions one on the down low." And they said, "We don't have a license, but hold up. We're getting one." I said, "Great." I said, "Put me down. Here's the money right now." They said, "You're going to give us the money?" I said, "Yeah, I'll give you the $150. They're like, "As soon as it comes in, you get one." I got the first one. Hands down, I know it. I got the first one. So I just want the respect for putting that aside to do the job professionally. I could have interviewed Dan Campbell if I would have wore this. I could have interviewed Sheila. I could have interviewed Brad. But I put it aside to be more critical because that's what you guys wanted. And that's the numbers bared it out for me. But I was the first one to have that. And that's hidden behind a private Instagram. But let me see here. What else is on it? There's me. See, that's the look I always gave, and that's my sister would always say, "Man, do you like doing that?" And I said, "Yeah." But that's the reporting look I always gave. Serious. So it was cool. Good. Are you at Pride Time B on X? I'm going to follow you, follow your stuff. Steve, I have declared today's it. Today's it. I put that is it. That's the height of it. The guy's wearing a Lions shirt. That's it. That is it. That will be the last time. I'm not I can now humbly critique the media openly. I'm not going to tweet about it. I'm just going to say, I like your story, don't like your story, comment on it, but I am not going to do that daily. But that now is the height of how do you compete with that? I should have worn my big Lions hat and say, hey, Brad, hook me up. No, he's still got a trial. I don't think so. You got to know the status of if he's going to be put on the exempt list. Did the Lions ask for any money back? No. Listen, it's in the end, God, I believe, understood that's not for me. I'm not buttoned up. I am not that way. I'm not going to sit there and go, Dan, what does it mean to have such young talent on the team? I just want to know the stuff that you guys want to know. I am not buttoned up. I'm doing this, in the way in which I feel is the funnest for me and the most entertaining for you and keeping it moving. That's all. I think you'd say Doc's never boring. Jeff Rigger's good at what he does. He deserves to be there. Yes, they did. Band in the Allen Park. Heck yeah. Easily I approach that microphone because I ain't no joke. Told the Lions to get off of my. I ain't got no time to give them my. So they're like, you listen to Eazy-E? I'm like, yeah. So they don't know anything about me. They just knew I was a little too wild, a little too open. There's no leash. There's nothing. I own Detroit Sports Podcast. So the answer is yes. Like I said, they don't know anything about me. They don't know my story, my journey. They don't know the struggles I had in the 7 years doing it. I kept it buttoned up. But I'm loud on the internet, which you should be. It's fun. I wouldn't be talking to Pride Time B if I was sitting here talking about water or, we're talking. I just kept it real. Yes. We talk about everything. So there's a real cornerback competition ahead. And listen, and basically, I think the gist of my opening monologue was I didn't get along with journalists because I felt like the journalists weren't even following their own rules. You know what I mean? And they just took it from the slappy side. And so I took it from the critical side. I thought that was balance. Okay, you have 19 of those guys and one of me. I thought that was fair. They're like, okay, it's him. He's the loud radio guy. And I thought that I was like, okay, you got 20 guys. You got guys wearing line shirts. How much more positivity do you need? I'm getting drowned out. You know what I mean? But that's their job. Their job is maybe to create the bought and paid for shill type stuff. And if you want a credential, maybe that's the avenue you can do it. But I didn't need to do it and I didn't want to do it. And plus, you guys would have probably laughed in my face because the audience that came over from the podcast when Sports Illustrated came on board was the audience that heard me screaming at Jim Caldwell. And I also too, maybe the file was longer than 2019. Maybe, I screamed about Jim Caldwell and his stairs. There's chaos going on. Here was Jim Caldwell. Like, dog, they're cheating you. Yo, Seattle is cheating. Learn the rules. Pass back and forth kind of thing. This was Jim Caldwell on the sideline. And so I said, man, we peaked with him. Fans were like, heck no. That was the first debate. Then the Stafford debate. So this is my third or fourth go round. So probably all the fans are like, we've heard this before for 20 years. Nick P. Doc, I thought it was really positive hearing Ennis was extremely tight in coverage on the big JAMO and Sate catches. I thought his potential was always greater than TA. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Clinton. No, I wasn't in the room yet. But yes, that was toward my podcast. Yes, exactly. It's a Dungeon of Doom around here. Yeah, man, you haven't won shit. You know? Wear 4 more watches. And that was a horrible debate too, because I was like, this man is an excellent motivator Monday through Saturday. He gets to the sideline and he can't coach. Everyone was like, we'll take it. 9 wins, 9 wins, 9 wins. We love it. We love those 10 wins, 10 wins. Like, man, you're not winning. You're like, that's it. You're going to get to the playoffs every year. You had the Mike Tomlin after the Super Bowl. Year 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, one and done. I was like, oh my God. And the fans were horrific. They were like, we like this. This is the nicest man. He represents us so well. I'm like, yeah, if he was my uncle, I'd love to have a cigar with Uncle Jim Caldwell. But I want to win a damn Super Bowl. So that was that. And then when Stafford got the $25 million contract, I was screaming again. No, don't pay him at all. I don't care if he's a 32nd ranked quarterback. So I've been debating the fans for a good 15 years. And eventually they're going to be like, okay, he's, opposite of the majority. But I have been on the side of majority a couple times. Fire Matt Patricia, realizing early on he was going to be a flame out. And the Slappies weren't on board with him either. So it was an easier battle. But now it's is Brad Holmes going to get to the next level? So again, and also too, it is, and if you want to give this outlet credit, it is so much easier to be with the populace. It is easier for me. And it's crazy too, because that's what my wife is saying to me. Hint, hint. She's saying, hint, hint, go with the flow, man. Why do you want so many haters? I said, I don't want haters. I have enough supporters. I just want to speak what I'm thinking. I'm not just going against the grain to go against the grain. It is my belief that when you question things, you actually can get to maybe a little bit closer to the truth than just to support everything. And I don't want the fans to calm down. I want to rile it up. I want to talk. I want to debate. I want to express that when Kirby Joseph's on the pup list, I get nervous. What's wrong with that? This is sports. This isn't checkers. And I can't look at it when Dan Campbell says, and that's what fans do. They're really good at it, is they erase the words that make them scared the most. Dan Campbell said today, there's a little bit of the unknown. That's the word that caught me. He's like, he's doing everything, but there's unknown. The fans are like, this is great. Kirby's back. I'm like, there's a whole sentence. And yes, it's good that in perspective, Kirby might play, but for how long? See, and I don't know if Dan slides it in there where he goes, yeah, there's a little unknown. Let's play it. Okay. Let's play it. And I want to hear it again because the Slappies took it to, we love that Kirby's back. And I'm like, I heard there's a little bit of the unknown. So let's see if this comment had it courtesy of the Lions. It looks like the Lions are expected to unveil their new Nike rivalries on August 25th, according to Andrew M. Lind. I don't know if that's the veracity of that report, but that's what's been reported by the Detroit Times. So let's look at it here. All right, let's see if we hear it in this clip where Dan Campbell says there's a little bit of the unknown, a little bit. Let's hear it, and let's be finding it together. Hopefully it plays on my end too.
Okay, Kirby, it'll everything that I told you in the spring still applies to that. We've been working to this, but we're still in this. Okay, he's running on ground, man. We're starting to change direction, some of this, but we're not going to grind this for another 2 or 3 weeks, man. So I cannot give you a true answer. He's working his tail off. He's not really had a vacation. He's been here with our guys busting his tail. So he's putting in the work. He feels pretty good right now. But there we got a long way to go, and there is still an unknown. But I like where he's at. We like where he's at. Like where he's at. We like where he's at. Okay, Kurt. But I like where there is still an unknown. But I like where he's.
You heard, okay? So, excuse me. So maybe in this instance, because I'm a psychologist, because my ears perk up to certain words, maybe the attention span of the Lions fan is 30 seconds. And that clip was 39 seconds, and he said it at 37. Did you hear the word? Did you hear the word? Like, I get it. And I know maybe that's my ears percolating. Dan, and I just played it again for you if you want to rewind it. That's courtesy of the Detroit Lions social media, who clipped it from today. He said, there's a little bit of the unknown. What does that mean? What's everybody's big? So, okay, and this is maybe where I'm different than everybody else, is my ears have to perk up as a psychologist to some of the little nuances of people's talk. I can't just ignore half of it to be happy and then leave out the whole statement. Now, if your context is he gets back on the field and plays one game and that makes you happy and you feel right, fine. But I'm looking at it like, what's the unknown? What's the unknown? That's everybody's biggest fear. How do you calm down? Help me. So that's why in my tweets you've been saying, I'm like, help me. Give me the perspective that you guys have to be able to put that aside. He said there's the unknown. We are going to fire it up, and when we do in 3 weeks, we shall know. But unknown means we don't know how he's going to respond. We know he can run in a straight line. He can work out. I told you that. I said the issue is never going to be the workout. He's going to get on the field. The issue is going to be over time. How does he respond? And so maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but there's the unknown. There's the unknown. I just played it and I said it 6 times to make it resonate. There is the unknown. What is the unknown? That's the biggest fear. So that is where, and now we can play the game too. Would that be a question that you would want to have me ask Dan? Hey, Dan, do you think Kirby's doing a little bit too much on social media? That probably would have caused us another storm. He'd be like, it's too early for that, man. It's day 2. I could have even made it personal if I wanted to. Hey, Dan, Kirby's been attacking reporters like myself who have been questioning his frequent use of being on social media. Do you think that should be his sole focus, is to, highlight what he's training when he's on here at the facility? No, it's too early for that. You know what I mean? It's too early for that. Now I don't have to worry about it anymore. But all I can do is now every single day on a nightly basis is play the words, tell you guys why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. I can't be calm in the unknown. Sorry. That's the biggest fear, the unknown. What do you think the biggest fear of? Death. It's the unknown. What's going to happen when this heart stops beating? And then the next year, the Lions win the Super Bowl after Doc dies. When the Lions going to win a Super Bowl? 365 days after I croak. That should concern everyone, that management believes cartilage can be grown. Costly. The unknown is, can that knee withstand the force of being planted and another player driving into him, or him driving with that knee for a tackle? There you go. So and more and more, I'm just going to ask for help on social media. I don't know how you walk away from Dan Campbell today saying he might not be ready for week 1 when you need him. He's on the branch slow plan to ramp up. There's a little bit of the unknown. And the headline is, I'm encouraged by it. From some people, I'm encouraged by the news today. Well, okay, you're encouraged he's alive. He's there working out, which is good. But that's the word. Like if Dan Campbell didn't say the word unknown, maybe I could see the argument. He's like, there's a little bit unknown. I don't know. So when Dan don't know and I don't know and nobody knows what the Slappies are doing, and that is undefeated, and someone like me can never penetrate it, can never win, and can never get ahead, can never get a credential again, is all they can do is hope. Day after day after day after day after day, and they're getting good at it. All they can do is hope because they're in the same boat as we are. They're no closer to being closer to the truth of whether Kirby Joseph is there. Yeah, you can see him work out, he can post it, but there is the unknown. It was stated publicly. So when you hope, you garner all the positivity, you garner all the support, and guess what happens? If Kirby Joseph, God forbid, has an issue with his knee, there's a greater disappointment. I'm prepared for the other side. That's what being critical is to open your mind and heart to a different idea than the populace. What if this doesn't happen? What if this? What if that? What if, and exploring different ideas. But Slappies just live in hope forever on everything. Kirby, will you have ice cream with me and talk to me at the liquor store? You know? So that's the difference. Hey Doc, are you surprised they didn't nip Kirby Joseph's social? Yes! Yes, Teddy, yes. I thought Dan Campbell was more of the Jimmy Johnson, would morph into more of the Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick style and say, hey man, that's silly. Tweet all you want, rap, do this, but don't talk ball with these people. All they're going to do is write stories. And you're going to activate some trolls from the other side, from the Bears fans, Packers fans, and the media is going to write about it. Even crazier has arrived. And shout out to those of you in here. The audience keeps growing. 44 on YouTube, 180, 190 on X. Smash the like button, comment, engage. We had, I think, 8 stories up today. Looks like Taysom Hill is out. Let me give a retweet to my stuff. Oh, we got to go down some bad news. One of your offensive linemen went on the NFI list. It's not good news. Let's take a break here. Let me take a couple minutes here, regroup. Man. Giovanni Manu. Who'd have thunk it? I don't think I'm going to take the full. I mean, I don't even know if I have the countdown timer here. Maybe I'll just run it twice, but 2 to 3 minutes, I'll be back. I'll just maybe run it again and see, but I'll be back after a short break. We'll talk about your guy, Giovanni Manu. What does it mean for his injury? And we'll recap further people. And again, so far so good, right? 90 minutes. Are you entertained? Good mix of what's happening in the real world and what's happening out here. Super chats are open. Become members. And you can comment. Do you think Gibbs will sign before Bijan? Should Kirby Joseph just put the phone away now and focus on football, get to business, or be more entertained? I'll be back and we'll run it. Stick with it. Chat amongst yourself. Hit some topics you want to know. Hit some questions. I'll probably be here another 15, 20 minutes or so. I shall return. All right. 3 minutes is about what I need. Maybe really 3.5, 4. But that's usually the average radio break is about 5 minutes. But that's all I need for a podcast. Thank you guys humbly for sticking through 3 minutes. You guys chat, ask questions. You can always engage. But thank you. Lets me stand up for a minute, get my thoughts together, deal with people who are saying that for those, and I respect it, to the Tevins of the world, to a couple of the ladies that asked, it's not weird energy. It's professional energy, and it's not something you guys know. Okay. You're a fan of that site, so you support that site, but it's deeper because it has meaning. When you juxtapose a guy that wears a Lions logo with a critic, it puts me naturally at an unfair disadvantage to never have a chance to get your voice across, because the voice of the fan, the voice of the team is undefeated. There's more fans than me. But when you do that, it then, when I make an opinion or say something, Pride of Detroit said that 19 people had a good day today. Pride of Detroit said 96 people had a great day today. Wait a minute. All the roster and the 5 coaches had a good day today? It's not an even playing field. And I hopped off that when I was booted off the island. Surge, happy football new year. Oh yeah, I talked about it. To reset, yeah. I never wore a Lions shirt to the facility, and this guy did it twice. But still follow them, still realize, but they're just biased. There's a bias. Simple as that. But I feel like that unprofessional behavior is just as on par as me being a critic of the media and saying, do I think a podcast is listenable or enjoyable? Who is the bigger listener of a podcast than myself? Who has, you didn't like what I said, tell me where I was wrong. You didn't like what I said, tell me where I was wrong. You said this was boring. I felt bored. That's my opinion. I've been watching Lions football for 20 years. And then if somebody came up to me and said, you made this, not a personal attack. Hey, invite me on your show. Your show will be spiced right up. I would have said, hey man, we don't need 4 hours of this. Cut it down to like an hour. My God. I've been watching Lions football for 20 years, Doc. Why do the Lions have such passionate fans? Is there sort of some psychology between a bad team and fans? What a great super chat. Activating the psychology. No, man, there's a desperation because you're close. You know, here's what it is. At the basic level, it's giving water to people who are thirsty in the desert. Here's what happened. People have been waiting for the payoff. They know what a championship's like in Detroit. Pistons, Wings. You know how fun it was in 97 after the heartbreak of the Devils? Dude, I cried when the Devils whooped our ass and swept us. I cried. And I sat there. And again, I try to use this as a way to kind of facilitate my passion for winning. I started, this is going to be quick 3 minutes. I started when my cousin came from Armenia. He came and stayed with us, and it was the 86 World Cup. And we watched it. I was a 7-year-old religiously, top to bottom. I watched the competition, the passion, the joy, the screams, the wins. I think that was the one Argentina won. And I was like, I'm hooked. And then it coincided with me becoming a Red Wings fan in Detroit. I'm like, oh, wow, they skate around. And then they lost to the Oilers in 87, 88, back to back. I'm like, wow, Wayne Gretzky's the best. He's just amazing. He's skating circles around this Red Wing team. But I got hooked and I wanted to win. And then they got a little better. Then there was the San Jose series and Osgood. And then there was a Toronto series. And then they get to the Devils and they start getting better with Murray and they start getting the climb. And they get their ass beaten, swept. Then you have the President year where they were just amazingly awesome. They lose to Colorado. You're just like ever so close. You're getting that taste. You're right there. You're like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then they hire the man, the OG, the legend, Scotty Bowman. They get Brendan Shanahan. They can spend. They got the goalie. They got Mike Vernon. Everything's calling into place. Darren McCarty whoops Claude Lemieux's ass, and we win the Stanley Cup. On the day I graduated high school, half of the kids there were drunk at the party. We hit Gratiot. We celebrated. I'll never forget the rush It literally was like from your toes to your head, the rush that you had, it made all of the suffering, it went away, and it was elation. And I was 18. And I'm going to tell you something. Sorry to be immature, but I must have saw 800 boobs, 800 pair of breasts that night, and I became a grown man. I sprouted out 19 chest hairs. I said, there's a lot of breasts being shown here tonight on Gratiot. And it was like a drunken euphoria. And we went from like 8 Mile in Gratiot all the way to 19 in Gratiot and back and forth and screaming, yelling, hollering, all the horns. I'm telling you, it was like every inch. It would be like, Red Wing fan, breasts. Red Wing fan, breasts. It was great. Old breasts, young breasts. It was amazing. So 97, 98, you get the euphoria of winning. Now, imagine the euphoria you get when I was at Michigan State and you're just horrible all the time. And we win the national title in 2000. I'm 21 years old, my junior year. Amazing. Amazing euphoria. It's euphoric. When you win a championship, the word is euphoric. Now you have the Lions, a deep passion. You got a fan base divided. You got the slappies who are just waiting forever. And you got us that are getting a little impatient. Most of the slappies are in their 30s. They got it until, I think you can be a reasonable slappy until you're like 40. By the time you're 40, you got to start getting into some level of realism. And you're right there. And then you're like, I kicked in the nuts with every other year. You were getting, at least it was better with Wayne Fonts. You were getting kicked in the nuts every other year. Playoffs, not playoffs. Playoffs, not playoffs. Barry. Okay. Then you whoop Dallas's ass. You get that first taste. It was like the first hit of crack was 91. Holy cow, NFC championship game. Holy cow, that was the first hit. It was like, wow, winning. Yes, that was the crack that got everybody hooked. For lack of a better word, for an immature, unprofessional word. Everybody got the crack in 91. I got it. I'm like, all right, here we go. 92, 93, 94. And you get that hope. And then you go with, okay, let's try Matt Millen. That was a disaster. Then the bottom where you hit rock bottom was the year you lost every single game. That was just like a crazy slow death. It's like watching a family member die slowly from a healthy person. That year was a slow death. That year was like a horrifically slow death. Every game with Dan Orlovsky walking off the field and all the losses and Rod Marinelli and all his stick, that didn't work. And you get Matthew Stafford, you get a little bit more hope. Number 1 overall quarterback. That didn't work. After 4 years, I was like, that's not it. Jim Caldwell was a little bit of hope, but, his ego got us the best of him. You tried. The Millen era was horrible. He kept drafting receivers. That's horrible. You tried the Patriot way. That's horrible. And then finally, you get the good stuff in Dan Campbell. And you have a little bit of hope. He brings the talk like, hey, we're going to whoop some ass. And he brought a rejuvenated freshness because Matt Patricia was a pretender. So that was deflating. I was there in the stands when the owner did the photo. Dan Campbell comes in, you get that rush. He starts off slow 2 years, then he gets the vote of confidence from Sheila. Remember, I asked Sheila, how come you stick with Dan when other teams have rebuilt faster? She's like, I can't worry about others. I trust my guys. I asked that question directly to the owner. And then I asked the reporters, I said, hey, did I say something wrong? Because right away they said, one more question. Like literally the words just came out of my mouth. And I asked the question, she answered it. And then they immediately almost cut it off. I asked, I said, did I say something wrong? I didn't know. I said, Dave, did I say something wrong? Because they're like, oh, it's going to get direct now. I was like, I actually was like, and then after that moment, when Dave was like, man, you're doing fine. Just be you. After that moment, I'll share, Dave always was like, you're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. Just hold them accountable, ask them questions. So he always made me feel like I always thought that they were going to yank me off the field like Ryan Clark. But Dave Burkett always made me feel comfortable. So you get close, you get to the NFC. Guys, we were 1 half away. That's like the real addiction. So now we're all addicted. We want the payoff. And it's close. It's close. Why are the Lions crazy fans like us? It's close. It could happen. It could happen with Dan Campbell. But unfortunately, when the time came to be a little bit more nuanced as a general manager, Brad kind of reverted to, I love my own people. He needed to make a couple more bold moves, and you can't have 10 draft picks from the end of 23 to 25 where they don't all work. That's a stretch where that causes a delay. So a new dealer came to town. Brad was the hot young dealer in 21, 22, 23. After Brian Branch, the new dealer came to town. He was mixing in some of the dirty stuff for more profit. We're like, wait a minute. After Brian Branch, all the hits stopped. The stuff started tasting different. It was like, wait a minute. This smells like Project Martin. This smells like Giovanni Manu. Something's different. This ain't the stuff. You're like, yes, it is. All the slappies are like, yes, it is. I'm like, this ain't the stuff. I was doing this stuff for 4 years. This ain't the stuff. Something's different. They're like, pay more. So you're like, wait a minute. All of 23, all of 24, first couple picks of 25. The stuff wasn't the good stuff. So now we're waiting for hopefully all those pieces to come back. Maybe the chemist changed and the mix will be different. And hopefully we get a chance to get a win. So long story short with the super chat, and hopefully that was longer than 3 minutes. But the reason why we're all crazy is there is the belief one day that we're all going to celebrate together and party on Woodward and watch the Lions throw me out. They'll have a big picture of my face. Do not let him anywhere near Woodward. Be like, listen, this is a 9-mile stretch. I'll wear glasses. I'll shave. I'll be doing something. I'll be high. I'll be the idiot that falls off of Woodward Street. But we are going to party together. I'm going to party with Steve Lehman. I'm going to invite everybody from this podcast. I ain't say that. We're going to have the Lone Wolves bus. The Teddies of the world. The Xaviers, the Steve Wilds. I'm going to invite all of you. We're going to get a bus. They'll be like, wait a minute, you're not invited on the parade. Yes, we are. Exactly. I'm getting my own float. I'll find a way. Be like, Doc declared himself, former Lions reporter declared himself FBI and made a float. Be like, yeah. So one day we are going to party together. Please let me be alive and not an invalid. So to long story short, there is the undying hope that they're going to win. But when it doesn't happen, I turn to anger. The slappies. The slappies just re-support the team and hope. I get it with what I just said. The hope is there strongly that they're going to party. But bottom line, here in my role, I want to suggest ways to get there faster, which is, hey, I heard that the Chiefs parade, here's how they got it done. Hey, here's the Rams parade, here's how they got it done. And I think the biggest disconnect is I never really looked to the Lions for the solutions. I look to, hey, do something that a Super Bowl winning team does. And the Slappies, the biggest disconnect, the biggest reason why there's a big disconnect is the Slappies trust Brad Holmes. I trust to do stuff that other teams have already done. That's all. I don't trust that Brad's doing it right until he does it. And then we can start doing a different style of criticism where it's like, okay, let's do it again. Roster, talent, maximum. We can do a whole different type of thing. $4.99. Look, Pride of Detroit for when you want your football take served with maximum nerd energy and minimum entertainment. No. And here's the part that they maybe even the haters will say, I ranked them in the podcast and I said, if you want your X's and O's fixed, okay, I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, just because I'm loud and obnoxious doesn't make me dispensable when they're slapping. You know what I mean? It's not fair. But if you want your X's and O's fixed, go listen to them. But you can't listen to them for 3 hours. You'll be on the floor sleeping. I've always been, right at the line of like, hey, you guys do stuff that makes my job harder. And you guys do stuff that is a little inappropriate. So it's too much of that in the media. And when you do that, it's easy. Pride of Detroit should have 9 credentials. Just be like, hey, we'll give you Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, and Amon-Ra Penei. Hey, just keep wearing those jerseys. Wear the POD jersey with the Lions logo on it. But yeah, it's a little too long and a little, nerd energy, but listen to them. They have a voice. They have a lot of insight. I learned a lot from them, but it is at times boring. It's not something they haven't heard. So, but they have a big community and they have a boisterous community, but also too, I don't seem to recall when they call me unprofessional or they look down on me. I don't seem to recall you guys looking to your own people who blasted me for asking these questions to Dan Campbell, who were like, yeah, guy, yeah, Dan, pile on, Dan, yeah, pile on, Dan, pile on the doc. It's uncalled for, unnecessary. And I probably did the same thing. I probably brought it on myself, but, I looked at it honestly. And I said it out loud. I looked at it like a professional rivalry. I don't hate the guys. I'd buy them a beer. You didn't put the $25. Now, this is semi-dirty laundry, okay? Semi-dirty laundry. To show you how kind the doc is when you see all this nasty stuff I post on the X. The Lions PR, and I almost said it once or twice, but I just started making my own decisions. The Lions PR would seat me at the Lions games next to Eric and Jeremy. Every game. And there's a rule. Like, no talking and cheering in the press box. And who would be cheering in the press box? Those two. They'd be doing color commentary and play-by-play. Now, I got used to it over time when there was a lot of big games. I just sit there and type and focus. But these two were running the game. And why'd you do this? Why'd you do? They run their podcast. They were actually a little bit more entertaining up there than they are in their podcast. I should just tell them, copy what you do up there. Oh my God, they were doing. I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of cockamamie shit is this? You're doing it in reverse. Your podcast, you're droning on and on and on and on. And you're here and sitting here acting like a fan in the press box. I'm trying to type. The third quarter saw Eric and Jeremy yelling at each other, hugging each other. And I'm like, oh my God. So what I started doing is I never said a word. I never went to the Lions and said, damn, these guys are doing play-by-play. They're violating every single rule. They're making my life hell. I just would walk down the hall and try to find another spot for me to type quietly. That's the real doc. I let them have their fun. Let them do it. It was great. That's unprofessional in a fun way. So, man, they distracted my ass for damn near 5 years. And look, I laugh at it, but why? Because I'm loud and I call their podcast boner. Damn you, one replay. So it's fair and balanced. They did play-by-play up there. And I did picture one day, for those of you guys that say you're nasty, look at this. Clip this to them. I did picture one day in my head. I visualized it, okay? The Lions win the Super Bowl. I'm going to turn and just awkwardly hug and high-five Jeremy and Eric and be like, you dumb fuck, and you dumb fuck, and we cuss each other out and walk away. You know what I mean? I did picture that in my head. Maybe that's not going to happen. I did picture it in my head, like, okay, Lions win a Super Bowl. We're all crying. Like, okay, that would be my unprofessional time would be like, oh my God, all of ESPN sees me crying up there. I pictured myself, okay, they're going to seat me next to these dudes, and we're just going to awkwardly high five and do like the, oh my God, I know I hate your guts, but this clip that. Not the nonsense I'm tweeting. No, that was the collective. So I did picture it in my head. So leave that as a lasting legacy. Not the fact that I'm calling them out for wearing a Lions, that's just weird. So yeah, no, it's fine because there's a whole picture to paint. If you paint me, because I did put it out there that's what they said about me. I'm not unprofessional. I'm mature, smart, having fun. Like I said, I thought the rope was way longer than what it was. All right. What was, I got to create the banner. See, I made a diversion because I didn't want to talk about this. Real cornerback competition. Giovanni Manu. The bad news of the day. Boo-hoo. And it's a weird story. He practiced. Players don't typically land on NFI after they practiced. You know what I mean? So maybe something came up and then retroactively, but he practiced. They saw him there. The NFI list is a non-football injury that is maybe he had something going on that he declared from somewhere else, but is a little bit unusual to land on that list from practice. Most don't happen. It doesn't happen that way. It's just, there's certain players that sometimes it just may not be the right fit here in Detroit. And I think for this player, for a player like maybe Levi Onwuzurike, for, a Mahogany, you hope that they get their second crack at it somewhere else. But I think a lot of people are starting to put Giovanni Manu on the outs list. I did, I think. We got 7 super chats. 7. It's an odd number. Beer, brats, and the doc. Thanks, bro. And I think you guys are entertained. I think this is the right mix of just sharing what's going on in my life, how I think about it, how it's going on, and hardcore football talk. And a lot of you. No, I know. I don't know because they had the seats I think that they had seats. That maybe I got the brunt of it and we were in the front. So yeah, man, it was a lot of talking, man. I listened to a lot of their banter. Whew. Oh, I can't even release the other one. One thing they said out loud, I of course had to listen to. Maybe for $50, I'll tell you what they said. But yeah, man, they said things. And most of the time I'm just trying to type, but sometimes you get done and you listen. And you look over to their work. What's their headline? Hell yeah, did I cheat off them? No. But Eric would leave his computer wide open so you could see his entire depth chart, my man E, you left your whole content plan in front of me. And these guys are organized. You think they're particular about their X's and O's. 8:30 this, 9:15 this, that. They were organized. I'm looking, all I do is go like this, just like this. Holy cow. Yellow, orange, blue. It's color coded with their whole content plan was regimented. I'm like, is there room for some originality? Good dudes, but that's the way to do it in that way. I'm like, you got every plan to the minute of every story you're going to write? We got to do this and da-da-da-da. And what do you think about Dan's story? Da-da-da. Yeah, I sat next to them. Not a peep. Ask him for fun. When you sat next to Doc, did he cause any stink? Did he talk that much shit? Be like, that dude didn't say 5 words to us in 5 years. Hello, Eric. Hello, Jeremy. That was it. That's all I said to him. I didn't say 5 words. But what I started doing was, if there was an open seat, because usually there was like 3-4 open seats, I just would scooch way down the way. Let them have their space. That's how nice a guy I truly was. I let Eric have his elbow room, and I just would find another spot way down the path. I would take a less desirable seat, less desirable view for some peace and quiet, to act like how you're supposed to act in the press box. Riley's color coded too. Color coded is organized. We're a little bit more text and like times. All right, we want a story at 7. We want this. You know what I mean? Surge, is this the voice that everybody wants to hear from the people, Doc? And I think it's you doing us a good service, even though the people from the organization don't want you to speak from the people. Look, you get into a dangerous situation when you start talking about other people and the work that they're doing. It's dangerous. You know what I mean? But in the end, it wasn't something that, an athletic female reporter was allegedly doing the funky donkey with the head coach. That is far more unprofessional than anything I did. I didn't do any of that. So I'm good. But my thesis is, bottom line, fair and balanced. There was some unprofessional behavior going on all over the place. I would think that if it was going on with Pride of Detroit, I would think that they would shoot them a text and say, hey, maybe Al should not wear that anymore. Whereas for me, it was see you later, sayonara. Why? You heard what I said. You didn't like what you heard, but tell me where I was wrong. Sensationalistic. That's right. I was sensational. I was sensational at what I did. And still am to some degree. Teddy's like, I want the dirt. I want the drama. No, that's too much. Maybe $75. You're a good man, Doc. They can't take away who you are. Professional class, huge, big heart. Thank you. You know. Oh. Mike Vrabel, allegedly. Mike Vrabel, look up Mike Vrabel. Forgot her name. It's right there, right there. Mike Vrabel and da 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 da. You guys know Mike Vrabel with the dog. Diana Rossini. Diana, just put in Diana R and Mike Vrabel. Look at the story, how crazy that is. I can't get no. Type that into Google. Oh my God. You could spend a whole night looking at that story from TMZ to People to reporters. It caused a whole controversy similar to my issue with journalism. She's doing what for access? She's an insider. She was making $800K. Oh, yeah, no. If it was a Lions, they'd bury that thing so fast. Be like, what sex? Appreciate you, Riley. Yeah, like I said, listen to them. Formulate your own opinions. I just shared what some segment of the fan base said. Serge, passion for you, Doc. You think Rockison is, I think he's going to be under the radar because I feel that he might go off this year. I do think that he's got something to prove, and hopefully if he's the starter, he can do it week in, week out. I don't know if he can do it week in, week out, man. It's a tough league. Even for Terry and Arnold, for good cornerbacks, it's just really hard. It's a tough league. Man, is it a tough league. It's a tough league, and it's a league where you're just unforgiving. He's bouncing around. Maybe he'll put it all together, but I want to see Ennis Rakestraw do the job. Make sure you smash the like button. There's 300 people on X, about 40 on YouTube. Smash the like button, so we got to be at least 50. Mike Vrabel was very much a fan of insiders. Oh, that's funny too. And you know what? Oh my God, where's one repub? We're still gonna do the, what is it? Mold or bold? The mold jacket. Mishanuga. They probably caught wind that the doc was gonna report on the Falcons game 24 hours after hanging out with you at the club. Now I'm devastated. They were like, dude, Mishanuga, you made the doc files, brother. For sure you made the doc files. An intern looked at that and said, professional reporter is declaring on his podcast he wants to solicit wings from a fan and drink and partake in adult fun 24 hours before the Falcons game. And they have to reread it. Is this accurate? They had to replay it. Mishanuga? He's asking for free. And Mishanuga declares he wants to give him as many wings as he wants, but nothing extra? No extras? They probably were like, Doc was asking for extras at Magic City? They were like, the intern totally messed it up. No, I wasn't asking for extras. I was saying Mishanuga put the boundaries, only wings, no other extras. No beer, no alcohol, just wings. He was going to buy me all the wings in the world, but no beer, no extras. But it got in the doc files, it got sent to Doc was asking for extras at Magic City. And they're like, oh no, that's way unacceptable. He's unprofessional. Mr. Macaroon was asking for extras at Magic City. No, interview me. That's why you got to talk to me. You should have went through the files with me. You would have seen all the context. Did you refer to your microphone as a black dildo? No, it's the big black mic. We've been calling it that for 15 years. The big black mic has brought us some good luck. Oh man, and now I'm starting to feel like, okay, maybe it was justified. I blame you, Nuga. He's like, I didn't know. Yeah, that's what happened. It's all context. You got to contact me. You got to say, hey, you can't be asking for extras from your fans at a strip club. We're like, that's not what happened. We're like, we were talking about the parameters of the budget. He was probably looking at like $80 in wings. And he's like, okay, Doc will probably take advantage. He'll probably spend 4 hours back there. And it's $25, $30 a song from what I hear. Coming back with that, $1,200 bill. Right. Right. Oh, man. All right, Giovanni Manu, before we get out of here. We all have doubts, We have doubts. And here's the thing, too. When people say, well, why are you talking about it? We went from 100 people to 400 people. And we're just talking all over the place. They're like, what is he saying? A lot of you lurking. But I know you're entertained. I know you're going to get a laugh out of it. You're going to be like, okay, that's our Doc. So today, good news. Cornerback competition is alive. Rock Ya-Sin. Nick Whiteside making plays. Nick Whiteside, I think, has the potential. He gained the confidence last year. He did the homework. I think he's somebody that can compete, but I need to hear Ennis getting some interceptions. I need to see and hear some highlights. And I'm surprised, too, the Lions haven't put out the JAMO highlight yet of his bomb touchdown today. Maybe they'll do it tonight, like 10 o'clock, right, or right when this gets off the air. But in the end, Jahmyr Gibbs holds out. Because also, too, guys, this is my, I did 2 hours and 40 minutes today. 2 hours here, 40 minutes there. I'm going to try to go on 10 o'clock, 10:15, right after practice wraps up. If there's any news or any important stuff. If not, it might be 1 o'clock most days to recap training camp with a lot of the news of the day. And then we'll do the show. So we're going to split it up. We're going to do 2 shows a day. One was fun. Let's do 2. News of the day, Lone Wolves podcast. Tomorrow I'm efforting a guest for this time period, but we'll still do the show and we'll break it down. But Giovanni Manu, not the best news. JAMO, good news. Cornerback, there is a battle that's going to start to take place. Nick Whiteside did well. JAMO did well. Those are the 2 winners of the day. You're starting to see some formations of guys to follow. Juice Scruggs, I'm sure we'll be talking to the media at some point. And here we go. And then bottom line, to wrap it all up, and today will be the last time I ever talk about it again. Unless, like I said, Super Chats, you can open up any subject with Super Chats, and I'll go into it. But I'm not going to critique the media. All I can do is tell you what I think today. My battle and beef with POD, Mike Payton, all those guys, all those reporters, it's over. You go research it. Do your research. Pick who you want. I'm not bought and paid for. I stood on the sword and got thrown out for speaking the truth, giving opinions, being unadulterated, and just letting it rip on everything, which it should be. We're all grown adults. We can talk about each other freely, nothing personal. I write that in tweets, nothing personal. I just think that the Slappies present their stuff so that they can go the easy route to get all the fans behind them and not present the realness. Maybe I'm overly critical, but I truly believe my thesis is the big time rant is because I believe I'm closer to the truth than they are. But they're getting rewarded and I'm getting shunned. I truly feel in my heart of hearts, whether it's brash, you're not supposed to share that openly. You're not supposed to. I don't feel like talking about other people is unprofessional, especially when you're doing a public podcast. Why do you have comments? especially when you're doing public appearances. We can't weigh in on it. You weighed in on me. And I think it's professional to talk about each other. I think maybe that elevates. Maybe I don't think you're going to see that dude wearing a Lions shirt anymore. Maybe he'll just go on to a full-blown jersey. I don't think my behavior was unprofessional. It was loud. It was immature. But you do what you do. I got rewarded for it. And losing the credential, like I said, provided me relief. It provided me with more energy. Now I can do 3 podcasts a day. I can do 2 videos, 10 stories. I got the engine. But I just feel as if going down the easy road of being pro team, very biased, and not being open-minded to being uberly critical and holding the team accountable is the easy path. And that lets you keep your credential and add 3, 4 more. So it went 3 to them and 1 to me. And then it's going to probably go 4 to them, 5 to them, and none to me. And you tell me if that's fair, balanced, the way it should go. But that's it. That's be the last I talk about it. So it is written. So it should be done. That part of my journey is over. This is the journey. This is the fun. You guys decide. I presented the information. I let you decide. I'm not going to harp on it. I will never again bring up the other media in town. Unless you super chat it, that's the parameters. And I'll tell you my opinion. It will require a super chat, and I'll talk about anybody. But I'm not going to critique what has happened. That's done. It's not a bit. It's just an explanation. And sometimes you can't explain things in one day, in one tweet, in one podcast. It takes 5 days. It reveals itself right out in the open. But I will not. That's not my bit. All right? That's my explanation. That's my defense. The verdict is, Doc, not guilty. I'm a voice of the people. The people still talk, and I'll still be talking. I'm just going to a different playground. My playground. My favorite part of the year is your training camp notebook. Can I take it all back? That didn't even have that night for the Hawks game. All right. My favorite part of the year is your training camp notebook. Can I take it all back? They didn't even have that night for the Hawks game when they advertise it. Nuga will not buy me anything. He won't let me have any extras. I'll pay my own way. He won't film what goes on in the back room. Now listen, the cat's out of the bag. Now I know where I stand. There was not enough respect to message once. That's it. I'm done. I'm never going to ask for one. I never want one. And like I said, I'm not going to anymore talk about that. That chapter's closed. That book is over. You know the story. You decide. You rock with me. We have fun. You don't rock with me. Please find your lane. And I love you all the same. But I think I explained thoroughly over 5 days my stance. Never talk about it again. The Lions can calm down. Take your interns off. Pipe down. The doc file is the height of ridiculousness in life. You kept a file on me? I'm a grown man. Hey, idiot. Behave. You kept a file on me. Delete the file. Doc files, super chat, critiquing the media, super chat. That's the only time I do it. That chapter is now closed. I think so. I haven't applied. I'm going to the Rocket Mortgage all week. After the Lions coverage, 3:00, I'll be at, if you see me, give me a hug. Give me a beer. Stand down, interns. You no longer have to watch the Lone Wolves podcast to hear the bullshit coming out of my mouth. Stand down. We heard things. We monitor things sometimes. We monitor things. Okay. I thought it was free speech, like it's some like Fantasyland. I really did. Like I said, that free press, what caused it? That free press article effed everything up. I thought the line was farther down the road. Farther down the road. Teddy's like, wait a minute. No, keep talking about it. Why not have heat to your podcast? Well, some people are saying it's a weird bit and it's not conducive to productivity. It's just going to make me upset because it wasn't an even playing field. But like I said, super chat, even for $1.99, I'll talk about it. Be like, hey, you're starting to feel better about it. I'm just going to do it under the parameters of a little bit more football. This is day one. I went 3 hours. I got a lot to say, a lot of football to opine about, a lot of things to debate. That is now closed. The 5-day trial, not guilty. Done. I slammed the book shut with that defense of my prime evidence, my competition's wearing the shirt. Doc, case dismissed. I didn't shill. I can head for the hill. I didn't shill. I can head for the hill. And so it is written, so it is done. That was fun. Hopefully you stick with me. And again, if I upset you, I am a nice guy. I am not that hateful. I just lay it out in this way because that's how it is. I thought the playing field of unprofessionalism was murky. I wasn't banging anybody for access. I thought, well, man, these journalists will go far. You know, they'll give these agents watches for information. I didn't do any of that. My punishment, I critique podcasts and tell guests on shows that their appearance was not as good as mine. Oh, man. In that sense, in that context, I didn't shill. I get to go to the hill. Going home tonight, watching some movies. I can like I said, different playing field, different jurisdiction. This is my jurisdiction. This is my house. You can't go to a house where you're not wanted. I thought I was wanted. I thought honestly, I was like the drunk uncle that comes over, but you love him and you want to drink a wine with him and you want to be like, listen, Uncle Larry, you can't be dating a new girl every 3 weeks, but come over next week and tell us the story. No, they want to do like, we want to close the door, lock the thing, and not let you come. Oh. You know, I thought drunk Uncle Larry was having some laughs and riling it up. They wanted to move to a different city, not tell me. I was like, oh, I'm not in the family anymore. But this family's pretty cool. I'm 40. I'm immature. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was fun. Cathartic. Not guilty. Just type in all the comments. Not guilty. And it'll be our little inside joke for today. Not guilty. Teddy, one repub. Gavis Con. The Funkle favorite uncle. Your Uncle Doc. The sensational Big D-I-C-K. Teddy, one repub. Edith Paul. Oh, no. Do I do it? I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't hate the team that much to do that. Edith Paul put it out there. For the next 50 years? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Is my nephew going to read The Curse of the Doc in 26 when they threw him out unceremoniously for critiquing the media? Oh, my God. I'm going to think about that for the next half hour, Edith Paul. No, I am not the curse. The curse is over. Oh my God. Oh, my God. I'm sticking around. Oh, my God. I should have had a lifetime get out of jail free card. Fire up the super chats. Here we go. Edith, you used the word curse. So, this is, okay, if you want football, the football portion is done. This is the last fandom thing I did, all right? So, and then, of course, this again sums up my journey. This is story time with Doc. and if you want to be entertained, this is a story. This is a long story, and this will probably be the longest story I tell, but it's the one in which I subtweeted maybe 300 times. All right, this is story time. This is the Lone Wolves podcast over. If you want to hop off freely, this is story time with Doc. So I didn't even publicize this to the degree in which I should have. I was cast on the George Lopez Curse show. Vito and I was on A&E. Producers called me. They said, man, you're funny as fuck on internet. And I'm like, thank you. So I got rewarded. They said, man, you're funny as fuck on the internet. I said, thank you. They said, do you want to come on television? I'm like, fuck no, I don't. I said, I'm ugly. I don't want to be on television. They're like, no, listen. George Lopez wants to break the Lions curse. This is an A&E superstition show. We want you and Vito to come down to this church. I said, you got to be effing kidding me. There's no way I can do this. They're like, come down. We're going to shoot this with some Lions fans. We're going to get some dirt from Old Tiger Stadium. We're going to do a bit. Martin from 97.1. We're going to have a lot of Lions fans. I got to find it if I have it. I bought the version. I don't know if I can play it, but I'm going to play I'm going to play the last segment. We'll just watch it maybe together. Good Lord. George Lopez, very unsuperstitious. Please let me find it. Very superstitious. Very superstitious. Holy crap. I bought the episode. So I go there. So it must be under the Macaroon account. Let's see if it plays. No, I have it here. So I don't know if I log out, will it kick me out of here? Listen, if I get kicked out of StreamYard, I'll come right back. This is a good story too. Please let me sign out. All right, still here. So that's good. All right, let me sign into this Macaroon. So I was asked to show up at at a church with Vito. And at this church, they're shooting to break the curse of Bobby Lane. And I was like, oh my goodness. And of course, to verify, my phone's dead too. If I don't have my phone, how do I get into this Yahoo account? Good. They sent it to the email. All right, let's see if it's in here. So we go, Vito and I, we're like, what the heck did we just get into? And it's like a 4-hour taping, and it ended up being like a 6-minute bit on the show on A&E. And we broke the curse. We chanted. I jumped up and ripped down the Bobby Lane curse. Yes, I did. And it aired. Craziness. Craziness at the highest level. At the highest level, we're on TV. And it's wild. So if you see it, go check it out. I'm trying to find my way through it. And we had a good time with it. We broke the curse. Now, this is where I get mad. Okay? We broke the curse. We chanted. We yelled. We chanted. We yelled. All in the name of breaking the curse of Bobby Lane. If you don't know, Bobby Lane had an issue, cursed out the team, all that fun stuff. And George Lopez wanted to break it all down. And I got to try to find a way to get this one in here. Which one is it to get it? Because I bought it and both phones are dead. I might take another break here if you want to hear the story, or you can wait for tomorrow. Let me know. Do you want me to conclude the story? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now you're going to piss me off. Jeff Daniels and Peyton Manning do the same bit 3 years later. Copy the same bit. It goes worldwide. They get the credit. Hell no. I typed that. No. George Lopez broke the curse. They did it in Ford Field. Obviously, still didn't work, but George Lopez broke the curse. George Lopez broke the curse. That's the way it is. That's the facts. So imagine you're me. You're part of the ceremony, and you can't get credit for it. So I took credit. I tweeted every television station. I tweeted everybody. I said, we did it. Vito, I, George Lopez, 40 other people. All right. Oh, right. They didn't like all the Habibi stuff, right? All right, let me take a break. I want to find it because when you play it, you see it, you're going to be like, oh, hell no. That was the willingness I was willing. Maybe they saw this in the files too. Maybe they saw this and were like, this guy's crazy. And that maybe it was the beginning of the file. Give me a couple minutes. It's not going to be the whole 10 minutes, but this is a break. And as soon as I find out how to do it, I'm coming back. It won't be probably more than 3 to 4 minutes. Stick with it, okay? All right. So we're inching ever so close to the story. Once the 2-factor authentication takes place, hopefully YouTube lets me in and we can air some of it. Now, hopefully I don't get discredited for airing it, but I bought the version. So what happens is, to reset, I spent time in a hot, danky church for 4 hours to try and break the curse of Bobby Lane so that you guys could win. I made a sign. I have the sign still here in my office to my right. It says Detroit loves Lopez. Vito's holding up the sign. We're dancing, and I'm celebrating with the fans. I want my fan cred back. So this will absolve me of any fan hate when this airs. I'm hugging the fans, the crazy super fans. We're dancing, breaking the curse. I spent 4.5 hours for 6 minutes of airtime. I said, ain't that a bitch? That was a lot of clap, jump up. And I think the priest that did the ceremony might have gotten in trouble. He might have gotten in trouble. I forget his name. I hope I can hear it. Please, here it comes. The phone activated. I charged it up. Both phones dead. So you can't call me a hater when you see this. I will have earned back my lion stripe. Please, Lord, let this air. Two-factor authentication. I'm spending my whole life getting things authenticated. Do you want a recovery email? Do you want this? Do you want that? All right, we're in. All right. Which one is it? I think it's John Macaroon, 3 subscribers. I hope, or Detroit Sports Podcast. We'll see. But it's George Lopez. Very superstitious. I bought it. That's how much I loved it. I taped it. I have it on my phone, but I got to find a way to air it. Let's see here. Nope, still not giving me credit for that one, so it's got to be the different one. Come on, one more time. Old English D. Come on down. Sports. Oh, they're not giving me credit for it? Which account had it? Oh, my goodness. So it wasn't Detroit Sports Podcast, wasn't John Macaroon. Which one was it? Maybe it was the one that it was the first time. Maybe it's on the phone here. Let me look. But it was good. And then, how should I feel? Because I did take offense that Jeff Daniels and Peyton Manning got all the credit. How are you supposed to feel about that? Do you just move on? You guys are funny. I can't believe it. I had it. Dan Campbell essentially telling the media, don't ask questions about Kirby. I don't think he's like that. I'm going to have to buy it again. Screw it. I'll buy it again. That's how much I care. I already own it. I'm going to buy it again. All right. Which account is this under? Screw it. I'm going to buy it again. Worth it. Watch what's going to happen. I'm going to pay the $4 and this is going to get demonetized for airing it. But I'm buying it, YouTube. I'm buying it from you. The high definition version, $2.99. Buy episode 6 sports. Buy. I'm buying something I think I already owned. Oh my goodness. Got to add a payment method. Now this is funny. That's how crazy the DOC is. Oh, there's probably my wife. Where are you? Nope. Oh, the other phone looks like it was working. Getting the payment authentication. Oh my goodness. Is this the curse? Well, let me do it. Please switch to the pop-up sign to get it. Now that's funny. I just want to buy it. No, I think Dan Campbell's been fair. I don't even know if he's been told over time. If I've been even, I don't even know if he knows. I'm not there. All right, here we go. Paying through PayPal. Please don't judge me for what you're about to see. Okay? Please don't judge. I now own it again through, remind me, Detroit Sports Podcast. I own the cursed episode. That's funny. Here it is. Perfect. You want to sit back and watch? Just a watch along. We're going to watch the last 7 minutes together. Okay? Deal? Now, I'm one of the callers in the segments. And God rest his soul. I was told to call in to Stoney and Jamie. Let's watch along. This is me getting my fan card back. Watch along. Enjoy it. This is entertainment. This is me. You can ask away and comment away. I want to read your comments as you see this and tell me I'm not a fan of your Detroit Lions. Tell me directly I should root for the Eagles. This is me, the regular guy. Unfiltered. This is what I was having fun doing just before I got credentialed as a reporter. This is what I was doing. Please don't, YouTube, please don't demonetize me. I paid for it. Let's watch it and enjoy it together. George Lopez came to town. And this was fun, man. This was fun to me.
It's amazing to me that so many of these ancient superstitions are still believed today. I mean, does anybody want to break a mirror? Nobody. But have you heard the more recent superstition about football legend Bobby Lane? He was one of the greatest players ever on the Detroit Lions back in the 50s. Then he put a curse on the team when they traded him off. And pretty much every sports fan in Detroit still believes it. So I headed to Detroit to learn more about the curse of Bobby Lane.
What's up, Stoney? Good to see you, Stoney. What's happening?
Jamie.
Jamie?
Yes.
And to see if maybe there was a way to break the curse.
We are honored to be joined in studio by the legend, George Lopez. And he's here in Detroit, not just for his own good. He's here for your own good,
That's
Lions
right.
fans.
I'm never anywhere for my own good.
he is here to help lift the curse of Bobby Lane.
Good morning, gentlemen. You know, I grew up very superstitious. My grandmother was superstitious, and she passed them on, which I think happens in families. I couldn't talk to a girl unless my money clip was in my left pocket.
Now, we know you're a big sports fan, and so you know what sports means to a city, particularly a city like Detroit.
Absolutely.
And nothing's bigger than the Lions here in this town. And yes, 1957, Bobby Lane, the legendary quarterback, was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he put a curse on the Lions. He said they won't win for 50 years. Well, we're now at 58.
I believe in the curse of Bobby Lane. This team is cursed. In 1974, the Lions finally got a coach who won a Super Bowl, Don McCafferty. Before he coached the game, he died in 1974 of a heart attack. Chuck Hughes, 1971, the only player in NFL history to die on the field during a game.
I remember that.
They make the playoffs, 1970. They lose a game 5-0. It's
So-
a curse.
I'd like to know from Detroit and all the sports fans
How I can help lift the curse of the Lions.
All right, well, let's go to the phones. What's up, Martin?
Oh, hey, what's up, baby?
What's up, Marty?
Telling you, we will never win. We get there, we watch them, we love them, and then we get our heart broken. It's worse than getting your heart broken by the hottest chick in school because that's what they've done to us.
I'm going to correct one thing. To get turned down by the hottest girl in school, you have to get to that level.
Right.
We've been turned down by the ugliest girl in school. We haven't even gotten to like the middle class of school. Let's now go to a pastor. Pastor Dave, what's going on?
We need to change the energy. We've got to change the thinking. Look, George, we bless babies. We bless books. We bless bikes. We bless buildings. Right?
Ships. We bless ships.
marriage.
Ships.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had a moment where the fans in the city of Detroit came together specifically to assault the curse. I'm proposing that we have an exorcism to remove the curse and simultaneously have a blessing to bless the team and the city and the fans.
How are we going to accomplish this? What is your plan of action?
What we're going to do is we need some dirt from the actual gridiron. And then we're going to take these words of Bobby Lane, and then we're going to set them afire.
So you are proposing that we have an exorcism to remove the curse of the Detroit Lions.
We need to. Let's break this curse.
Well,
I'm
you know
into
that.
this. I'm
Yeah.
into this. I'll meet you in church tomorrow.
Hallelujah.
It turns out if you want to exercise something, it's good to have a physical representation of the evil thing itself. So the local minister who called into the radio station wanted dirt from the original field that Bobby Lane played on. Of course, that stadium was torn down years ago, but one of the fans who called in knew exactly where the stadium used to be.
How you doing, brother?
Martin, Dave from the
Good to
radio.
see you.
Room.
Right on,
How
man.
you
What's
doing?
happening? Good. What do you think about this whole thing that we're doing?
You know, it's great. Like we were talking among friends before I got here. It's great that you're doing it.
So that's where the Lions played first. So Bobby Lane played on that field
Bobby
right
Lane
there.
won that championship.
So what Pastor Dave told me to do was to bring some dirt to him, and he's going to use the dirt in the exorcism.
I will help whatever it can. I will give him my soul for a Super Bowl. That's
we'll
how
work
we
on that
feel.
one, but right now we just want dirt.
I'm with you.
I'm worried
Hopefully
about,
it'll,
about this dude. I'm kind of a little worried about this guy.
here goes nothing.
Let's dig in.
Super Bowl one time. To the
So 3
Lions
scoops, and then I'll do 3 scoops.
winning a Super Bowl for the city of Detroit.
3 more? Power of 3? 2?
Does that mean we're going to three-peat when we win the first one?
No, just listen, dude. Let's not push our luck. I want a playoff game. He's like, we're going to 3-peat? Come on. All right, man. Let's go, brother. Protect that with your life.
With the end zone dirt in my possession, I felt ready to help out with whatever little ritual that Minister Dave had in mind. But I'm going to tell you something. I was not prepared for what was about to take place in that church.
Tonight's the night that we reverse the Bobby Lane curse that has really destroyed confidence, destroyed Lions fans, and has not been good for the city of Detroit. But tonight, it's time to turn that around.
We gonna bless the Lions. We gonna declare the city of Detroit is blessed, and we are going to break the curse. Somebody scream!
I've never been part of anything like this.
Y'all ready for an exorcism?
Sports fans are some of the most superstitious people in the world. But when it comes to the curse of former Detroit Lion Bobby Lane, those football fans don't mess around.
Be seated. You could be seated. I feel something breaking up in here tonight. Look, we are here because we believe in curses.
Yes.
There was a curse spoken over the Detroit Lions by Bobby Lane. He said, you'll never win a championship for 50 years. And if there is a supernatural force, a hex, a curse, sometimes I feel like the curse could be on the city too.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Sure. Now, when babies are born, we bless the baby. Blessing means to speak well over the future of a thing. Cursing means to speak ill over the future of a thing. If I lay my hands on you and curse your career, what I would have done is I would have spoken ill, not over your now, but over your then.
You didn't do that, did you?
No, I did not. I did not. I didn't.
Because your hand was on me.
Yeah, but I didn't speak it. Yeah, it did not happen.
Should I be up here? Because there's a lot of good up here. I don't want to throw anybody
I
off.
think we got the scale covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because I don't. If it goes bad, we have brought dirt from the end zone of Old Tiger Stadium where the Detroit Lions play football.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, after 58 years, that Bobby Lane curse was about to bite the dust.
This dirt is being poured out.
It's being poured out.
Just like the curse
Just like the curse
is being poured out.
It's being poured out.
Pouring out dirt is the beginning of knowing the lions have favor.
Yes.
That these words no longer have power.
No longer have power.
Because the lions are champions.
Our champions.
Now, I want y'all to help me bring this down. Just reach up and grab.
Yeah, come on, don't. Yeah, bring it down.
With the combined strength of the congregation
Get a
and
piece of
all
that
of those superstitious Detroit Lions fans, we actually tore down the words of Bobby Lane and lit them on fire.
The curse is over. The curse is over. The curse is over. I want you to go shake somebody's hand right now. We get ready to shout victory. Stand on your feet. It's a time of celebration.
So I believe and I hope that the Detroit Lions make it to the Super Bowl and then lose to the Raiders, which is my team. And how big a fan am I? My hair is silver and black.
Somebody say yeah!
Amazing. It's a pretty amazing feeling. I've never been part of anything like this. I believe that the curse is gone. It's the beginning of the change. Change has to start somewhere. It started right here.
When I started my sports journey, I quickly realized that athletes get hooked on their various rituals and habits because routine helps them focus and stay confident. But sports fans, I learned, are an entirely different story. It just seems us fans, we just want to be part of the team. So if we're wearing our lucky team hat or crazy socks or even saying a prayer that we think can help our heroes win, then we'll do whatever we can. Now, I got to get out of here because the Lakers are playing and I've been wearing the same underwear for the past 2 months. And I hope it does a trick or I'm burning these suckers because 2 months ago, I was a little bit smaller and they are riding up.
Imagine telling that guy who did that, go be an Eagles fan. They don't know me. They don't know my story. They don't know the past. They don't know me. Because I did the professional thing. That's what I sacrificed. They don't know me. So then I did that dance. And again, that was the whole bit that they aired. I got the last segment for 3 minutes. And then it gets copied and the whole world thinks somebody else did it first. I broke the curse. I sat there and danced and did that bit for 4 hours. Jump up, jump down, jump up, jump down. That shit was annoying. It was hot. And I'm sitting there. I must have hugged that guy 40 times. Me and Vito hugging. All right, break the curse. And it was slow. And then the part that probably would have never got me a credential, they had me prepare a 4,500 word thing, or like I wrote a lot of words down. It would mean the world to the Detroit sports community. Like we all, like 19 people went up there and gave a sermon. And there were people crying. And I'm like, it would mean the world to us as Lions fans to win and celebrate. We've never won. We've never felt like we climbed the mountaintop. I did all that. And then Jeff Bridges comes in with Peyton and they get all the credit. So you know how offensive that was to me? I did all that for 4 hours. I sweat my balls off. So now it's living. Hopefully hopefully for those of you that watched it, I didn't have to prove my fan card to anybody. I didn't have to wear a Lions shirt. I didn't have to cheerlead for the team. I did all that in my youth. I became a professional and I acted like one in the building, but I maintained my fandom through a little slice of the internet where shit talking was cool, where you could do that. But so I did what I could for you fans. I have that green sign in this office. I have the recording of me calling into the station that got edited out, but I was on A&E. I have it now bought twice. So now it lives on in the internet. Hopefully it doesn't get copyright struck because I bought it. But that's the guy that they said wasn't welcome. That's the guy Kirby Joseph said, this guy probably is going to hop off and join the Eagles. That's the guy that would do anything for a Lions Super Bowl. Anything. I sat there and melted into a church. And some people say, yeah, it's sacrilegious. My mom's like, isn't that supposed to be bad? I'm like, I don't know. I'm on TV. And so you say, well, why do you act like a dumb fuck on the internet? It got me on TV. I had fun. Me and Vito are sitting there clapping. You see the fans? We were sitting there dancing. Like, it was the weirdest shit ever. At some point, I thought they might molest me, but I thought, okay, this is good. There's like a lot of people here. Oh, the memory of that. That was 4 hours to get aired on TV for 6 minutes. So I think that's a good spot. Hopefully you entertain. Go back and watch it. Remind yourself. All right. I would never cheer for the Eagles. I would never cheer for anybody. You can throw me out. You can call me names. You can say I'm weird. You can say whatever you want. But there ain't no bigger Lions fan than this guy right here. All right. Now I can put that to bed. I can actually be a normal dude and just talk about the team. I don't have to put on this cloak of ridiculousness for some standard that isn't even real. Where one standard, if you lick ass, you get to be in, and the other standard where you critique and talk, you're out. All right. So that's not the rules I want to play by. I want to play by the rules of you grow an audience and people like you, they trust you. If you say something and they drop you, they drop you. It's an easy, clean game. You say what they like, they follow you. You don't like it, they move on. Fair and clean. I don't do the hypocritical bullshit at all. I avoid that like the plague. So I own my stuff. I was guilty. I get to live free. But remember, when people say you're a hater, why is he hating? This guy's better. This guy did this. This guy did that. Bitch, I tried to break the curse. I tried to break the curse for you people. And then I watched it get copied and given credit to somebody else. They didn't sweat for no 4 hours. They went to the big luxury field. They probably were like, that's a damn good idea. We don't need that ball fuck in the video. Let's just do it with two celebrities. I was in the trenches. I was the one sweating my balls off with Vito. That shit was awesome. That shit was awesome. And so then you got to sit back and go, I broke the curse. I wanted a little bit of the credit. And then, it got pilfered into something else. But that's life. But I definitely was in the tweets going, no, you didn't break the curse. George Lopez broke the curse. The curse is over. Could you imagine? I'm with these super fans and we're sitting there chanting, the curse is over. I had to jump up like at least 40 times, my poor knees, because I'm so short. You see me. Go watch that back. Enjoy it. Tell people, look what this idiot did to try and help the Lions win. Look at it. Go replay it. I'll never forget this episode. Season 2 begins now. We talk Lions football, uncensored, unfiltered, dedicated to Detroit sports. We have fun in the effort, and nobody's going to tell us how to behave. And now you know a little bit more about who I was pre-professional. So maybe that's what I should have did. I should have brought a banner that said, the curse is over. I broke the curse, and wore it on a lapel. So anytime, refer back, July 29th, 9:30, the George Lopez watch along. Let me see here. I want to say, let me see. When they aired it, oh my goodness, that is so funny to me. Let's see if I do the history here. We just watched it. Now it's available forever. When did it get put on YouTube? Very Superstitious has 199 million subscribers. Good Lord. Maybe it's George Lopez. Comments are turned off. It's a paid show. When did this get aired? Release date, April 30th, 2018. I think it was shot in 2017. Wow. It released in 2018. I shot that probably the year before. 2017. So in my youth prime, 37 years old. The curse is over. The curse is over. The curse is over. And then the part that really makes me laugh is the dancing with the fans. Yeah. We did that, and we lit that fire over and over and over again. We took the sign down over and over. I mean, it was television produced. We did the same thing, and they pieced it together. The part I really wish they would have aired was me and my sermon. I got that church riled up. You know me. I got that church riled up. And we will take over the league. And I was like, I must have been screaming my head off. Because that was the pitch. was do the pitch was make a speech and rile the crowd up to see if they would cheer and get it on television. So I got the crowd riled up. We were clapping, cheering. Some people were crying like about their dead grandpa, but I was the one I think I got the most hype from my own memory. Yeah. So before the credential, you can't say that I was not that guy. It's on tape. It's aired. It's on this channel forever. So the curse is over. The curse is over. Tell them, tag people, let them know. You now know me. This community knows me. The two groups that know me the best, I think Matt Broder and Brandon Dent Kool-Aid. They interviewed me for many years, and now Hefe and Booner. So those are the two groups that know me the best. They see me, the unadulterated guy and the guy behind the scenes. You know, two groups of people who interviewed me regularly. I gave it my all. So that's the guy you say, hey, go cheer for the Eagles and call me a clickbait clown and say all these things and then want me to be quiet and never defend myself. Come on, man. So, you know, that stuff still resonates. They don't know how big a fan I was because I had to turn it off to make a living in my world. So forgive me if I let it out on the internet. It was a fun ass ride. But again, I apologize, but you gotta tell the truth as it is. You decide. I'm the Doc, John McEnroe. Thank you for the last 3 hours. That was fun going down memory lane. Again, as we decided, the jury has spoken. Not guilty. I didn't shill. Get to go up the hill to my beautiful home. And we will not talk about the subject again. We go forward, onward. I will not critique unless you give me a super chat. I will not be doing that. Did you guys like it? Comment. Did you guys like that little end? Oh my God. The curse is over. I tried, man. I tried. The curse is over. The curse is over. Dude, that's fine. I'm going to go back and watch that when I get home. How funny was that? What? The curse is over. The curse is over. So anyways, we go forward, and it's a new path. Like I said, even if they offered, I would not go back. Like I said, it's totally, the bridge is burnt. That part of the chapter of my story is over. But thank you guys for the ride, for putting me there. Now you know a little bit of reason of how I grew a real audience. You know, it was fun. It was cool. Like I said, all I can do is present the information from my spin on things, and you guys decide. Let's go. I'm out. Thank you guys. Let's talk tomorrow. Training camp starts. Let's talk. Let's have fun. Let's interact. And we can put all this behind me now. Peace. Thank you guys. You know I love you.